Hi, everybody. I'm Desiree. I am the creatress of the Secret Garden Society and the founder of Charmed Sisterhood. I actually have a charmed sister with me today, Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thank you so much for joining today. You're holding up your map. Your arm's probably
I
getting
am. I'm
sore.
just resting the elbow so we can.
I love it. That's awesome. We're here to everybody to share on the map process, and I call it the My Charmed Life map. Rebecca, do you want to just go ahead actually and share what the process is? Because you've been through it a couple times now.
Yeah, so you're just, or for me, I was just sitting back and taking some time to think about my life, starting with childhood if you need to, or I kind of started at that in high school age and went forward. What did I do from step by step? And then kind of looked at each step as we talked about the fog, or was this a mountain, or was this a bridge, and tried to think of it in those terms and what I learned at each place and how one thing connected to the next thing.
Yeah, so beautiful. And I know a lot of women at the live workshop kind of had their art supplies out and they doodled, or some even used ChatGPT or AI to put things in. You did another version, didn't you, with AI as well?
I did. So actually that was the third version.
Nice.
So
I love it.
cuz I need to think more freeform. I can't color and make it pretty at the same time
Yeah, of
that
course.
I'm thinking about it. So I did it in pen in my journal and just scribbled all over. And then I made the nicer picture. And then I thought, ooh, ChatGPT, like some of the other sisters did. And I put the pictures, just took a picture of both of them and stuck them in there and told ChatGPT to combine them. So it was cleaner, more coherent, easier to see.
Beautiful. And I noticed when you shared the AI version inside our Magical Badass Babes Facebook group that you had a very specific archetype that came through that became this kind of red thread through your life. What was that archetype?
I believe they labeled it a warrior archetype
Mm.
because the whole thread is fighting. It seems like in each stage I'm fighting for something, for somebody, against something. There's always a fight.
What was it like to realize? Was that something you were really aware of that was in your consciousness, or was that kind of like, oh, wow, an aha?
It was never really something that I thought about in terms of needing to fix. It always seemed like it was a necessary thing that
Mm.
someone needed fighting for and nobody else was doing it. Or in some cases, negatively, this relationship needs fighting for and nobody else is doing it, which should then be my aha if nobody else is doing it. If I'm the only one fighting for the relationship, right? So
And
sometimes,
yeah, which relationship are you speaking of?
so I guess each of them in different ways,
Mm.
because each of my kids have a different dad. And
Yeah.
I feel like the first one was probably the truest one. And then when you're a single mom, you're looking for someone to help you.
Mhm.
I mean, and for different reasons, you enter the relationships. And when they start to sort of slide to the side, you're always holding on a little extra tight. Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Mhm.
And how do the kids do? Are they close? Are they grown up now? Or how is their relationship formed over the years?
They're all grown up. And I think my son, my oldest, was probably born grown up. It seems like he's always been 30 years old mentally and emotionally. And he did help take care of my middle daughter, who is special needs. And he was always a trooper and right in there and like, this is just what we do.
Yeah.
And he's grown. He's an engineer. He lives up north. He's doing fine, but he's just always been that person. And then my youngest and he were close for a while because he was 13 when she was born. So he was
Mm.
graduating when she was 5. So there was a lot of
Wow.
idolization, I think. My big brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all, I mean, they're not close in proximity, but they're close.
Yeah. And what is it like with your special needs daughter? Is she at home? Is she somewhere else? Or tell us a little bit about that.
She lives at home. She is in a lot of ways very high functioning, but she's not going to drive. She's not going to take care of her own money.
Yeah.
And some things are a challenge that are daily care that wears on you a little bit, but we're just going to be roommates. That's how we
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of gifts that she brings to the world. When I was growing up, my Auntie Ruth, had three kids of my cousins, and two of the kids were special needs. And at that time in the 60s, when they were born, there really wasn't a lot of these detailed diagnoses that there is now. And they actually lived in a really rural town, like small town, like 500 people in this town. And so they didn't really have the resources. But my mom kind of took it upon herself to teach them how to read, especially um, my cousin whose name is Georgia. And so Georgia would actually come live with us for periods of time. And my mom taught her how to read, taught her how to count a bit of money. She could do that a little bit. And she became actually quite not independent, but she was proud of herself because she could do these things.
Yeah.
And those two cousins, like my life would not be the same without them, because I get goosebumps when I say that. They love music, they love dance, they are cracking jokes constantly, like the best sense of humor. And Georgia has a heart of gold. She's like an angel. She'll be like, would you like a back massage? Or Desiree, you're gorgeous. You're fabulous. I'm
Oh,
so
wonderful.
lucky to have you as my cousin. Like, just so loving too. So I think we have these, I know there's so many challenges with it
Yeah,
too, but the gifts that they bring are just incredible and have really, I'm going to say, inform like my ability to open my mind to what people can be and who they really are.
absolutely. And she is one of the biggest things that I fought for. You know, I
Mhm.
mean, when things don't go well in a pregnancy, you're fighting for what you feel. Was fighting to get her. Oh, you don't want to have your baby now? Yes, I really do. There's something wrong. I don't know what it is, but something's really wrong. And fighting for her to be born then. And then always fighting for her health to be better, fighting for better education for her. So she is part of the good part of the fight.
Yeah, that's
You know.
beautiful. What was wrong with the pregnancy? Like, how did you know something was wrong?
So there was some preeclampsia, but there was nothing immediately wrong.
Yeah.
And it was, 4.5 to 5 weeks early, but it just didn't feel right. And they
Yeah.
checked it out and was just like, no, and you really don't want to have an early baby. So we're going to send you home. And I just about walked out the door and I was like, no, 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 something is wrong. Something is not right. I don't know what's not right. I'm not a doctor.
Wow. So did they induce you at that
Mhm.
point? Okay, wow, that's amazing. So
Yep.
you really listen to your own instincts there, and you're fighting right there, right
Yeah.
in that
Yeah.
moment. And that became this theme that you're now, however many years later, kind of realizing has run its course all the way through.
Yes.
Wow, it's beautiful awareness. And so as we look to the next era, so everybody in this map process, and by the way, we're going to do an encore version of the workshop July 21st at the time of this. And if you want the details, you can just type the word map below and I'll send them over to you. So the second part, what we do is we map out the past, and which can be a little bit challenging to look at, but it does bring a lot of evidence, beautiful evidence forward of how resilient and strong we are. Then we can kind of take that feeling of like, oh, I'm proud of myself into the future. And we look at, are we in this fog of not sure where we're going? And there's nothing wrong with being in the fog. The fog is a sacred period before the next era appears. It's like the gestation, it's asking for support, it's listening deeply. And what breaks my heart is when we rush through the fog. And I see so many women doing this because they want to control, they want to be certain, they have families and things to take care of. And they feel like I have to, if I don't do this, nobody's going to do it. But I
Mhm.
think the blessing here, and tell me, Rebecca, if this is true for you, is in the second half of our life, we don't have the responsibility of changing diapers or getting kids to school and all the things. And we actually have more space to kind of let the fog roll in and feel into what do I actually want and how do I want my life to look? And then what lens am I going to look through? Is it the survivor, warrior, fighter lens? Or am I going to put that lens to the side and decide this is going to be something different? Is that true for you that in the kind of the second half of life, it's a little bit more spacious for that?
It absolutely is a lot more spacious, and sometimes that's disconcerting all by itself, and
Okay.
but I think that's when you learn that you want to look at something differently. You know, you have all this extra time and you start to feel a little something is not, I need to go do something. And you go do the same things you always did, but they don't fit right anymore. Or
Mm.
the other people that you normally would have played the same game with, they're not willing to play anymore because it's a different time in their life too. So you have to make little adjustments and figure out where you fit and how things are going to be different for you. And now anything, you can do anything. Sky's the limit, right? We have all these choices.
I love that. And I see you really, you're part of our charmed sisterhood. And I think you've been there since last Halloween Samhain time. And I've had the pleasure of witnessing you be in that fog, that just beautiful gestation, sacred pause, but active in it, period, and sort of trying things out and coming out to be really a leader in the circle. You always put up your hand, you're always there, you come early. You're rolling, that tells me you're rolling up your sleeves to be present to what the next thing is. And what is the next thing for you? I know you're playing a little bit with creating out something on the side. You also work full time still, but you're also playing with your creative impulses as well.
I am. And I think the big flashing light for me is sisterhood. And that's why I looked to Charmed. And yes, I am making things on the side. I'm trying to sell products that I make and creating my own little community. And that's kind of where everything is really drifting harder. Little sisterhood of your own community, a bigger sisterhood. I think as we get older, we really need the sisterhoods. It doesn't matter if you're married or if you're not married and who's driving you to this appointment, and that you really need those sisters.
That's so true. What is the feeling like if we just, we can say sisterhood, but what is the feeling? I mean, I know what it is for me, which is why I created it. But what is it for you? Like, what's the feeling with that?
You know, you can, the feeling that you can drop the idea of what if. You can drop the what if they don't like me? What if I don't look good? What if I do a dance move and it looks really silly? I mean, you can just drop it all because especially in Charmed, the first time you do something like that and nobody laughs and nothing happens, you're just like, okay, I can tell the truth. I can say what I want to say, do the silly dance here, at least here, which then carries out into the rest of the world. That's kind of what it feels like for me.
I could totally get that. And I love that you feel that. That makes me so happy. Um, when did you stop doing silly dances in your life? Was it when your daughter was born? Was it further back? Did you have a lot of responsibility? For me, I was the eldest of the three kids, and I had quite a bit of responsibility. I was like your son,
Mhm.
like changing diapers and being right there, like being a little mom at times. When did you stop silly dancing?
I don't know if I really stopped silly dancing, but I think that you curate it a lot more. You know, if you're at the gas station and I know for sure it'll embarrass my daughter, I'm totally going to do it. But you're not going to go to a family wedding and do a silly dance because what if they laugh at me? What if I, whatever. So even though it's family at a wedding, I'm still Not going to do that there.
So
It's
having
very,
like a space where you can just let your guard down and not be scrutinized by other people.
mhm.
It feels safe, right? And that is where we can play more. And I think that's where if we feel safe, this is such a good conversation because I've been thinking about this a lot. If you feel safe and held, like there's someone there that's actually going to catch you when you might feel like worried or worried people are going to judge you, and they're like, no, you're awesome. You're getting that kind of reflection and reinforcement. Then we can start to be okay with a messy middle in life. We can be okay with maybe taking some brave steps where we might be judged by the outside world, but now we're like, I'm actually okay with that because I feel safe over here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's beautiful. And I've seen you let your guard down. I know you're even starting to create some content. You're turning into a content creator. How does that feel?
It's still scary. It's still terrifying. I'm
Totally.
going to do it anyway, but it's still terrifying. I mean,
And that's our
yeah,
motto over in Charmed. We were always saying,
yeah.
screw it, just do it. But again,
Mm.
you have to feel safe to have that mantra of screw it, just do it. You can't, it's one thing to think like, oh, I'm going to be a content creator and I'm going to share my ideas with the world. We could force ourselves to do it, but will we be consistent and continuously do it if we don't feel regulated or we have people to talk about it that understand? Yeah, I think you're really smart. You've put community around it so you can head into that next era feeling really equipped. And it's not that you
Yeah.
weren't equipped before, it's just now you've got allies. It's like a hiking club that's going with you up the mountain and it's
Yes.
more fun, right? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. What do you want women to know that might be thinking about, oh, I want to map this out too, or how do I do this? What do you want them to know if they're thinking about trying out this whole map thing?
Honestly, that you're going to get the most out of it if you're the most honest with yourself, because ultimately this is for you. Even though other people in this group might see it, ultimately this is for you. What you determined, what you looked at, and the information you get from it determines what you want to do going forward. So be really honest with yourself. I think it would be easy to say, oh, I'm going to show the parts that were good and not show the parts where they each have a different dad, you know?
Mm.
But it's important because in our society, that's not looked upon very well.
And yet that's
So,
so part of goddess culture. Have you read The
yeah,
Mists of Avalon?
right.
I mean, it's total priestess culture to like choose who you want to have as a lover, choose how many kids you want to have with
Mhm,
whom. Marriage is, it was a contrived legal experience so that men could be in control of women.
mhm.
And of course that's evolved. That's not true now. But before that, if we go before patriarchy, what you did is completely what a priestess would do.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
You chose, and now you have three incredible children, and you
I
are
do.
free.
I do. Absolutely.
Do you have a beloved now? Are you single? Are you?
I do not. And it comes up occasionally, and I just am not in that space yet.
Yeah.
If they dropped in my lap, sure, I'm not against it. But I mean, I'm also not actively looking, no.
Yeah, and no pressure. I'm just curious
Yeah.
because
Yeah, no.
it's also wonderfully free in the second half of her life to be like, my kids are growing up, they're so much more
Mhm,
independent. I'm exploring what I want. And maybe like I've felt this, I don't want to be overly influenced by someone else at another time or have to caretake again or manage somebody else's emotions. And so, what a gift actually to not be in like a ongoing relationship for a period of time. It really
mhm.
is because you're soul seeking, you're checking in with yourself, you're tending to your children and your work in beautiful ways. And to me, I think it's just like the cherry on top when we do actively seek out or they land in your lap and you're like, my life, I am living my charmed life. And now this relationship is the cherry on top. I don't need it, but wow, this is a gift. This is nice. Someone to cuddle with and watch shows with and go for walks with, travel with, all of that. And I'm sure the moment you open to it, it will come, and there's no rushing of that, is there? What's the top quality what you would want in a partner, or one of them? I know it's hard to decide, but is it sense of
Oh,
humor, open mind, financially free?
yes. All of those things.
Those are mine.
Okay.
You can have them.
Sense of humor, I guess, because I think discussion for a different day. I think the need or not need for a man is a much deeper subject for me. And I have a dog, so I'm pretty much good, but he's not that funny in terms of jokes. So
I love it. That's awesome. So, everybody, just as we finish up here, we have a workshop coming up. You can comment the word map, MAP, down below, and I'll just DM you over the details. We'll gather for about an hour. If you can't come live, still sign up and I'll send you the replay. I think this is actually more of a profound exercise than I ever imagined it to be. It kind of dropped in intuitively during another event, and I started drawing mine during this other event, and then I realized I'm like, maybe I can, maybe I should teach this, and then we started going into it. Then I realized, ooh, we need a little more time with this. Actually, this is actually goes quite deep, which I'm a Scorpio through and through. I just can't help myself. And then I realize women like Rebecca doing this, that there's some big ahas coming through and big releases. So again, we have a new lens to create the new era. On my new era, I have wedding, dream home, financially free. Speaking of weddings and the concept of getting married,
Mhm.
but you know me, I love ceremony. So to me, I'm excited to create, and I don't know when it is yet. I know people are going to ask me, but to create a ceremony that really links my king and I, and to have it witnessed by my parents. That feels important. And my dad just turned 80. So I'm like, okay, I'm sure he's going to be around a lot longer, but okay, Matt, what are we doing? And his family lives in Sweden. He's Swedish through and through. I think there's one random Russian gene thrown in there, but he's so Swedish, from the same town. It's called Nyköping. And his whole family on both sides is from there, from like every generation. It's
Oh man.
crazy. So I just feel like maybe we're going to have like a party, or I don't know, the honeymoon there, and then maybe the wedding is in Vancouver. So I'll keep you posted. I'm not sure what's
All
going to happen.
right.
I'm
So
so
much fun.
happy the goddess brought us together, Rebecca,
Me
truly.
too.
And honestly, I'm so excited for you because, and this is for anyone here who's a priestesspreneur, I like to say. There's not everyone here will be, so this might not apply to you, but if you're a creatress and you have something that you make or services that you provide, there's no reason why you cannot be creating financial stability and freedom through an online business. And even if it's brick and mortar, you will have an online presence. We just know that whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or your marketing, you always have to have marketing, right? So there is no reason, I want to say this to everybody, that you can't do it. It is so easy. And I say that with a grain of salt because we have lots of people modeling it. You see lots of women like me doing it. I have a double six-figure business and I have no team. I can completely do it on my own because of AI. That being said, I have a lot of support around me, and I wouldn't do it without coaching, like people that help me stay regulated, because it is responsibility and it's a lot to hold, but we can handle it just like I could handle it when I was younger, right? I had a lot of responsibility. That was something that was positive out of being taught to be a leader really early on. And a lot of us have had that experience. So, what are we going to do with that? And it doesn't have to be hard. We want to take the hardship programming out of this. And I feel I'm saying this for a few specific people. So, canceling out any hardship programming that we have to work really hard to make this happen. We see people who have a lot of ease and grace in their life. So, as you create the next mountain, I call it, or the next era, let's just invite in everybody that there can be ease and grace. Of course, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get it done, but we're not going to overly stress ourselves out about this. We're going to get help when we need it. We're going to remind ourselves, look at our map and see all the evidence that exists there, how resilient, powerful we are, and that everything works out. And the reason it works out is you are intuitive, intelligent. There is lifetimes of wisdom inside of you. You are curious, you're open minded, and hopefully you know when to ask for help when you need it, meaning, oh, I just need some more information, or I need to like clear these internal blocks that are coming up, and you get the help that you need, right? We don't want to be
Mhm.
silos. Women are naturally community oriented. So the more we can embrace community, I think the better. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yay. Well, thank you, Goddess. This was so fun. I could just hang out here all day with you, but I know you're supposed to be working right now. We won't tell anybody. Um, so I'm going to stop the recording here. We can stay on a couple more minutes. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining today. And I hope I'll see you at a workshop sometime soon. Or you can try this out on your own and just let us know how it goes. Bye, everybody.